No. So that really struck me well, because one thing about this business, if you want to call it a business, is it's hearsay when it comes to, let's be real, it's hearsay.
You can't prove a damn thing.
Right.
Yeah.
However, when you're walking down the beach and that same thing appears in the sky and there's many people around you and it's the size of 3 houses and it's not making a sound and it's over the water and people are jumping up and down in excitement, others are scared. All of that took place in several other experiences within a 3-week period. So the name stuck with me because of the events that followed and that direct the keepers. So it referred to itself as the keepers.
It's very striking and very appropriate. Where is this going, and is their program on track from their point of view? If you were their program manager, would you feel, okay, we're doing all right here, or do you think that this planet is in trouble and they're really having to force the issue to get whatever it is that they want accomplished from this? What's your take on whether this is working for them?
In general, and not to be somewhat specific and not too vague, but somewhat specific.
What's your feeling about where this is going and why?
Why, okay. Yeah. You've got, again, creatures or non-human intelligent beings who, again, are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years ahead, where they would be, so to speak, socially and how they behave and have been relative to where we are. They have technology that can take them to the past, that can take them to the future. What I'm getting in general is that we do reach a point, because I don't like to be the one that says gloom and doom and this and that, okay? Claiming the end of the world, I stay away from.
But you're also a very honest man in terms of reporting what it is that you've perceived.
We do evolve.
Okay.
As a species. We do conquer a lot of things, particularly dying. We do use the tools for time travel. We do span the cosmos to get from point A to point B without time passing. We do. The good news is we do evolve. The unfortunate news is that only but a handful of us survive it before we repopulate and evolve.
Survive what?
Well, I would suspect very strongly that since the emphasis on almost every ET, non-human intelligent race and species is on our environment, I suspect something bad's going to happen there. However, the push from the future to now is to have all 6 billion of us, or at that point close to 8 billion of us, survive and evolve into the future and into the galactic neighborhood. It can be changed.
At what point? You say at that point 8 billion. What point?
What point in what respect?
Is there a year, do you mean, or at a stage?
Okay, here's a very wise thing.
Okay,
a very, very wise thing. And this comes from personal experience, and this comes from me seeing the way these guys are, so to speak. There's nothing worse, and I am not religious, and I'm not going to somewhere. There's nothing worse than a false prophet, so to speak. Even though there's someone who has seen the future, and I have, and the way they portrayed it is in ways that I can't tell when and what time it is. Even in it's a paradox, but now I'm understanding that in the first few years of this, I would always get the holograms of a different time and place, not comprehending what I'm seeing. Now, 18, 19 years later, I realize that I couldn't know what I was seeing and when, because I would have interfered with it. I would have gotten its way. I would have gotten my own way with what my place is in this thing and other abductees and so forth.
We want to take a responsible stance in informing people with the best data available from people's testimony, so that those who can hear will hear, those who can't hear won't hear whatever we do, and some people will be able, for them that will be the prompt for them to take responsible action.
Okay.
We're not catastrophists, we're not doom-mongers, we're not trying to scare anybody.
Right.
We're right with you. We want all of humanity to make it all the way through. But if there's anyone watching this video now that says, my God, you know what? I think I better pay attention to things I haven't been paying attention to before, then we will have done our job.
Well, I do know I do know what to do, and in the early aspects of this thing. 2 things. One is amnesty. Now, this is not coming from Jim Sparks. This is coming from interaction with these beings over many years. Amnesty meaning that there are agencies, either being sanctioned or not sanctioned, commonly referred to as black ops, secret governments, secret clubs, call them whatever you might want, who have contractual interaction, human beings, with non-human intelligent species and groups, who have developed in line with these creatures technologies like free energy. I don't want to sound like a simpleton here, okay? I'm not saying let's all hold hands and buy each other Coca-Cola and the world's beautiful and we're at peace and let's all sing a song together. I want to be as practical as, there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to be practical. There are technologies that will change the face of this planet as we know it. And for the first time in the history of the human species, we will be able to evolve. The problem that the species has, and I know I see it in your eye, is that we rely too much on outward influence or outside sources to save us. As a species, we have a very difficult time looking inward to ourselves and saying, it's not going to be God that does it for us. It's not going to be, I'm not saying there's no God. I'm not saying it's not going to be the Great Spirit that's going to do it for us. It's not going to be all these outside forces. It's us facing ourselves for the first time and doing these things ourselves to join the galactic neighborhood.
We have to be adults and clean up our own house.
We have to do it. Now, there's technologies out there that exist that are secret. Free energy, where we don't have to derive so much from our environment. And these technologies are in the possession of these black op secret organizations who, in their view and in their eyes, sanctioned or not, most of them are sanctioned, that they're doing this for the defense and the security of our nation and other free nations and other nations. I'm not just being selfish and saying the United States, but we're up there pretty much to the top with this stuff, okay? And these things need to be cut loose because we do have the global warming. We do have problems with the rainforest. We do have a problem with pollution in the ocean. And I can go on and on with our environmental woes. So these things need to be freed up. Now, in the eyes of these beings that are extremely intelligent and have a lot of experience, have made something very clear. Create an amnesty vehicle where, because there is a growing majority in this black op or secret government stuff that wants to come forward with this information and these technologies. Quite frankly, they don't want to die bringing it forward. They don't want to be executed. They don't want to be charged. Because unfortunately, people have been discredited, murdered, maimed for the sake of national security. Innocent, law-abiding citizens, many over the last particularly 40 to 60 years, 50 to 60 years, them coming forward in any way, shape, or form. Let's be practical here. Oh, you're responsible for my father's death. Oh, you're responsible for my aunt's death. Oh, you're responsible for this and this and that, because all that stuff's going to have to come out with it. These people can't be touched. They're going to have to be able to, they're going to have a vehicle to come forward 100%. And I hate to use the word forgived, but have to be forgived and forgotten. So these technologies can come out to save us and aid in saving us from what we're doing to this planet. Now, one hands-on project that is particularly, it's an assignment for me and others, but for myself, is a rainforest project. Now, why do I say the rainforest? It's the lungs of the planet. It's the internal organs of the planet. It's how she's able to cleanse and recycle herself. And we've done a lot of damage to her. And now we're injuring the internal organs. Global warming is just a part of it. But the rainforest is extremely important because it's something that we can see. We can see it regress or digress, and we can see it expand and come back out again and healthy. A hands-on project with that on a global basis, in short, where we can really see what we're doing, where the whole world gets involved, is something that needs to be accomplished. Once it's accomplished, then we can all know on this globe that there is something we can do as a species, as a whole, all 6 billion of us, or whoever many get involved, to actually change something so extreme as to where we're going, which will make it easier to tackle these other challenges. Now, as a species,